So I'm just gonna make sure that's good over. Connecting live studio. That looks good here. We need to go. Live video starting. Sorry, I talked to myself to make sure we get it correctly. It's fine. Okay. We look live on Facebook. I see both of us.
All right.
I see us on YouTube. We are good. So we'll have this captured on YouTube. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna give it just a second to make sure it catches up over here. Everything looks good. Perfect. All right. Kate, thank you guys for joining on the I Believe podcast. I am joined with a special guest, and this is Jackie Stiles. I'm going to introduce her more in depth in just a minute. So if you guys can just stay tuned for a couple announcements, like bear with me. Just first up, we do have our I Believe seminar coming up in Nashville, Tennessee. That is for any helping to host this amazing in-person event. It will also be virtual. So if you need to catch the registration link, that link is in the caption of this video. If for some reason it doesn't work, I will put that in the comments after we finish the interview. Get registered if you're planning to travel and come and see us in Nashville. You'll see me, you'll see the board. I'd love to have you join us. As many patients who are and willing to travel, registered, and we want you obviously able to get the best deals at your hotel setup, all of the fun things. So join us for that weekend. It's October 14th and 15th, and if you're joining us in person, we are going to invite you into the welcome reception that's on October 13th, the night before the event starts. Okay. That's, I believe, 2022, October, save the date. And our next thing, we have our Looking for a Cure 5K, first one of this year, taking a few, hiccup pandemic to get everything rolling. We are having our first 5K for this year, and Looking for a Cure in Phoenix and Scottsdale, technically. It's co-hosted with Honor Health and Innovation Institute, and again for that Arizona 5K is in the caption. If it does, a link will be dropped in the comments below this video. We would love to have you join us if you're from the area. If you're kind of from the state and you would like to participate, we do plan on having a virtual option. I think is looking good. Jackie, just as we're taking a pause to just address a slight glitch, Jackie, if you're having a slight issue with the recording freezing, I don't see you freezing on my end, but if that's happening, see if you can move closer to your router, so your Wi-Fi router in your house.
All right, I'm right next to it, so hopefully it'll hang in there with us.
Yeah, hang in there with us. If we do, for some reason, just get disconnected, just know that you can always jump right back onto the studio. We'll still keep the recording quality going good. It will just kind of have a pause and then we'll restart. So if you're live and you're catching some of the background, just know that we're just figuring out things as we go. Last announcement before we go into this interview is we do have the Insight Registry promo. So this ends July 22nd. It's our birthday for the Insight Registry. You do complete the registry and expect to receive a gift card in return for doing participating in this promo. You need to both register yourself, that means putting your name in, and you need to fill out all the consents, and you need to fill out the surveys have the actual demographic information. It is then de-identified, and we can use that and doctors for research. So please make sure you're filling it. You have until end of day July 22nd to qualify for this birthday $20 promo for free. Okay, I think everything that I need to cover. So let me go ahead and introduce Jackie. If you guys are not familiar with Stiles, she's one of the most renowned basketball players in the history of the women's game. From her roots in Claflin, Kansas, she led the country in singing, and then to the Southwest Missouri City, she rewrote the NCAA women's basketball record books en route to the Lady Bears. En route to leading the Lady Bears to the 2001 final tour. She's led to a professional career in the WNBA and has continued to inspire and impact millions of basketball athletes, women, and us too now in the ocular melanoma community, as she was actually diagnosed with ocular melanoma in December of 2017. So we're going to chat with her a little bit about her story, give her a chance to kind of just tell us, how things came to be. So I guess without further ado, let me bring on Jackie. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on and that nice introduction. You're making me blush, so thank you.
Well, you look beautiful. Your hair's all cute and curly, and your eyes have like gorgeous makeup. I'm over here like summer melting, can't well, can you just share with us a little, like, what was the beginnings of your diagnosis like? What led to getting diagnosed in the first place?
Yeah, well, I was coaching basketball at Missouri State, my alma mater, and I remember it was around Thanksgiving time, and I felt like I wasn't seeing very well, especially at night. And I remember my mom was a nurse, and she tested my vision. I was home for Thanksgiving, and she did say, "Your left eye's a little off compared to your right eye. You maybe should go to the eye doctor." And I thought, oh, maybe I can wait a year because I hadn't checked vision coverage. And I had LASIK eye surgery done like in 2003, and I had heard that a lot of times you'll need a touch-up because I hadn't been to an eye doctor since. And then I was in practice, and I was having a hard time catching basketballs, and I've never had that. Like, I was really having to focus to catch a ball. And so I called on a Monday, and our day off was on a Wednesday. And if I couldn't get in to the doctor on that Wednesday, then I was just going to wait a year. And it gives the receptionist chills now because she had just had a cancellation right before I called. I slid into that spot, and then that's where they found the tumor behind my eye.
Oh my goodness! So such a serendipitous like coincidence, all lined up, like a miracle, really, that lined up for you to get diagnosed when you did. So as I've read through your story, you talked about how there was some difficulty in getting the actual treatment done because you had another doctor, and there was kind of some insurance hiccups. Can you walk us through what treatment plan did you choose, and who did you end up going to, why, like what kind of was this journey like for you in getting past the diagnosis and through the treatment?
Yeah, so it was very difficult at times, just with my insurance, getting them to cover the treatment I needed. And so I originally went to Dr. Brad Smith in St. Louis. And then my uncle is also an eye doctor, eye surgeon. And we had consulted with him, and he says, you need to go to Dr. Shields in Philly. She was kind of one of the best known doctors, and just that's all she treats is OM. And so I ended up going down to Philly, and I thought that's where I was going to end up being treated. Well, they would not bill my secondary insurance and were asking me to come up with $50,000 on the spot, like in a couple days, to get treated. And I just didn't feel right about that. In my gut, it was just a principle thing with me. And so I ended up, traveling back home, and deciding to then get my treatment with Dr. Brad Smith in St. Louis, where I just felt like in Philly I was treated kind of more like a number, and where in St. Louis they were really, they knew that I was a basketball coach and my active lifestyle, and I had the radiation, and so they actually cut out a notch because my tumor was on my optic nerve. So he cut out a notch in my plaque so it wouldn't directly radiate my optic nerve, which saved some of my forward line of sight. And I wouldn't have gotten that in Philly. So it all worked out for the best, that I had the insurance hiccup and I was treated where I believe I was supposed to be treated.
That's great. Glad that everything ended up working out in your face as far as your vision goes, because I know from reading your story, from talking to you multiple times, that your active lifestyle, your ability to coach is very important. So talk to us a little bit about Plaque Week for you. You said you had the plaque radiation done, and so did you stay at home? Did you go to a hospital? How did this look for you?
Yeah, so in St. Louis, I remember I went up there Thursday night and then checked in on Friday morning, where they did the procedure, put the plaque in. And, I actually, because I'm somebody that never misses a workout. Like when, somebody asked me, did you work out today? I said, well, did you eat? Did you sleep? Like, I mean, that's how much I need it. And so, I was like, there's no way I can go, because basically I was going to check in, have the procedure, and I was going to go Friday to Thursday, the following Thursday. And I was in the hospital, and, I'd only get 30 minutes of a visitor per day, and obviously couldn't leave the room or anything like that. So I brought my bike trainer into the hospital room with me, and it kind of became a famous thing in the hospital where doctors and nurses were just coming in my room to really see if this was real life. Did she really bring her exercise bike in her training in her hospital room? And but anyway, so I actually was a lot sicker than I thought I was going to be. I think part of that was due to the pain medicine I was given. It was making me really nauseous, and they changed my pain medicine. I got better and was able to get on my bike during my treatment. So I ended up actually getting out on Thursday. I had the procedure to remove the plaque, and then we drove home the 3 hours from St. Louis to Springfield, and then I actually went to work the next day with my basketball team.
It's just incredible to me because I mean I know so many different patients, so many different experiences with the plaque. And I know like I was floored. I could hardly even see out of my good eye because I couldn't even like open the good eye. The other one was trying to stay shut. Like it was. But then I hear of other people who like you, like, well, I just did whatever I could as I stayed in that room. But that's amazing, like that you were able to get right back to just your lifestyle. So just before we move forward, after like your plaque, did you end up did your doctor end up doing a biopsy treatment? And if so, like did you get the result back from that in a timely manner, or how did that look for you when you got the surgical kind of things out of the way?
Yeah, so basically that was one thing. I really talked a lot about before the surgery, getting the biopsy, to find out what I had for sure. But he said that it put my vision at such risk where my tumor was located that if it was him, he said he would not go ahead with the biopsy, and he would treat me, like I had the most aggressive form of ocular melanoma. So I actually chose not to get the biopsy. So I don't know what form I have. But, one thing, I've tried not to let, the anxiety of this diagnosis, get me down. And, and that's really helped, just having that attitude of just moving forward and, trying to focus on other people and helping them. And that's kind of helped me get over the, every 6 months going to get scanned to see if it's, metastasized.
Yeah, for sure. So that's good. Just hearing that you was able to still prescribe, like, okay, we don't know for sure, we can't back this with data, still going to treat you as if you have a form of risk and we need to monitor frequently. So that's reassuring to hear. Kudos to your doctor for doing that. Can be a difficult, another difficult kind of insurance, even if you do have a biopsy. So I'm glad to deal with, and hopefully that continues to, that you can keep having those monitoring scans. Okay, so moving forward from your treatment, it's been a few years. What are kind of, I guess, some of the main ways that you feel like your life has changed, for good, or maybe just that have made things a little. What are some things that you've had to adapt this few years, whether with vision or scans, any of those kinds of.
Well, I would not ever wish cancer on anyone, but I must say that it has made me better, and we all face things, we all have adversity in our stories, and you just have to try to find a way to make it a positive. And a couple of the positives that have come out from it was, one, I was so touched with the outpour of support when I was diagnosed, from the number of texts from people helping out financially with, billing secondary insurance, to just, numerous ways people supported me that I knew I'd never be able to pay that back, but I'm bound and determined to pay it forward. And so from that point on, I've always done at least a minimum of one act of kindness every single day. And then every time I speak, I challenge my audience to do the same, to reach more people, because you just don't realize how one uplifting text or taking somebody to lunch, how that can help them through it. And I remember my mom, there was thousands of cards sent, and I took them all in my treatment room, and I was really sick the first few days, as you were, I know, and it helped so much. My mom reading those cards, it almost makes me want to tear up, just because it really lifted me and got me through, such a difficult time. And it's, made me more present, focusing on now, because none of us are promised tomorrow. So, I definitely have had that attitude and that approach, and I'm more fearless now than ever before. So those are the couple of the things that, have helped me because of this diagnosis. Did I live? Did I love? Did I make a difference? Those are my, kind of three most important things, and so, and then, as far as my vision, that's definitely, recently I've had a lot of vision loss, so I'm trying to adjust to that. The lighting in gyms kind of affect me. I kind of feel like I have that motion sickness at times. I'm getting the injections where, unfortunately, I think I have a horrible reaction to the betadine that they use to prep me. And so I walk out of there, I don't know if you've watched the movie Hitch, but I walk out of there with my face swollen every single time, and I can't open my eyes. So anyway, I'm trying to learn to deal with that. But yeah, I mean, it is tough. But one other positive thing, I know I'm getting a little long-winded on this, is I've been contacted by numerous people that have been diagnosed with OM, and this just happened in my doctor's appointment last Friday. A lady reached out to me on Instagram, and I told her how incredible my doctor was, and was, I had a phone call with her, and I was kind of telling her what to expect with the radiation therapy, and I have pictures of it as well, because I asked my doctor when he was taking it out to take pictures, so I've sent those all over the country. Well, it just so happens she hears my name being called in the doctor's office. She runs out of the room and gives me this huge hug. It was a lady that I had talked to and that I had given her my doctor's number. So, I have been able to help, many people that have been diagnosed with such a rare cancer, because there's not a lot of information out there. You might not know anyone in your city. So that's another blessing is, it's just, I think our greatest legacy is every human life we impact for the better. So I will be quiet now and let you talk.
That was great. I loved it. I feel like that's just it's a real powerful message, just to take the thing been handed in life, and yes, it's hard, our challenges, and you surmount those as like that's all we can do. To just keep showing up, like you said, with showing up with that intent, and make the world a better place with whatever time, whether it's a day or a year or 10 years or 50. Well, let's hope we all have more than 50. I mean, yeah. 80. Okay, we should go for like 100. Let's just say 100. Okay. Well, I really I love what you had to say. So I hope you don't apologize for what you had to share, because it's an impactful thing. I feel like to hear that and realize too, because I think social media, and this is something that I really try to reiterate to our patient audience, is that we really have such a gift in the ability to communicate through social media and connect with people who there are so few people diagnosed, that the only that most of us can connect is through Instagram, through online interactions, because maybe somebody started hashtagging ocumenoma. These little things help link us, and I think that by linking us, offering those ability for us to be supported, that's such a key part of our journey. And I think that all of us who are able to and be impacted by someone reaching out, or by reaching out to someone else, it impacts all of us for the better. And I think the ripple effect of that in the patient community is huge. So thank you for sharing that, and for I hope this just helps kind of enable, or empower is a better word, empower other patients who are on, if you notice someone or you see someone's random post, don't assume that someone else has out to them. Just assume that you're the person they ever come in contact with, because you just never know. There's some doctors who are great, and some doctors who will, yes, there's Facebook communities, there's all these support groups, there's a Cure site, there's all these other different nonprofits, these places for patients to get support. But then have doctors who even recently are, still telling patients, you may never meet another person, so don't even try. Like those kinds of messages like get so mixed in the community because of how rare this is, and kind of unpract the doctors who sit very rarely in their practice. Thank you for sharing that. I'll get off my own soapbox now. Because it's just such to realize that we each have the ability to it, even if it's just one person. Like it still matters. That one person matters. Well, okay. I had another sad. There we go. So what are maybe things, if you were talking to someone who's brand new diagnosed, what are 3 things that you would tell them to focus on, whether during their initial diagnosis journey or their life in general, moving forward be 1, 2, or 3 things that you feel like are really just important to focus on as you're beginning this journey of your.
Well, I think one is always focusing on things that you can control. It's being present, because so often we're, projecting, thinking about the future, or maybe even it's in the past where, did I make the right decision on the treatment, or, the things that you could struggle with throughout this journey. But it's, staying present, control what you can control. And then, just focus on, loving others, accept the love that's coming towards you when, you go through such a tough time, but then also know that you can pay that back as well. And I don't want anyone to ever feel alone in this. And so if I ever have the chance, like you were talking about, to reach out or comfort or give someone information, I'm happy to do it. And I'm happy to spend my time, helping others that have been diagnosed with it. So I'd say those are some of the most important things. But I think what really helped me, my doctor was blown away by how fast I recovered. And I think a big part of that was just getting right back into my everyday life and just not, just keep moving forward and not let myself lay around or feel sorry for myself. I just got right back up and went right on into, coaching basketball and helping people with my one act of kindness every day. And I think that helped me move forward.
No, I think it's just such a powerful set of things to throughout the beginning of this diagnosis, and to help you throughout the rest of the phases, because there can be so many different changes and challenges that come up. You said, your vision was doing pretty good, and then it started to deteriorate, and you had to adjust again. You had to. We talked about this before, but you had to pivot. And I want to find the quote because it's bugging me now. But we're gonna share it. We talked about it before, and I'm gonna find it from my friend because I had a tell me about a book. It's just phenomenal. Let's see back tiny bit. We're almost there. Okay, an NLP principle called the law of requisite variety, which states that the person with flexibility controls the system. So pivoting gives you power. And every time I hear the word pivot, I'm a Friends fan, and I just Ross in the stairwell, pivot. And which is comic relief, but I think I admire your ability to pivot through all of the different things that you so far. I have one kind of unique question for you, because I know you are a coach, and that you've been a coach, you've been an athlete all of your life, as far as I can tell. What would you say has shifted in your ability to play the game, like your mental game, I guess, of showing up to coaching? Like, do you feel like you show up differently as a coach or as a player now? This diagnosis has happened, and you've kind of been impacted by this.
I would say the biggest thing is I'm much more present. And not thinking so much about the future. I'm a doer, and a lot of times, I might be thinking about all the things I had to do, maybe when I was having a conversation with someone, but I want to be where my feet are now a lot more, just because we got the mortality blessing in a way. Every 6 months we find out, has our cancer metastasized, and, I use that as a positive, that I'm going to make the most my time, and I prioritize people. And one rule I always have when I come across different people, and as we go through difficult days with this diagnosis, and the injections and different forms of treatment, but I always try to treat everyone I come across like they're going to die by midnight. And if you act like that, you're always going to have, compassion for maybe someone that's not treating you the way you deserve to be treated. But you just got to know that, hey, you know what, if they were going to die by midnight, how would you treat them? And so that's one kind of rule I live by. And I just really prioritize the people in my life now and being more present.
I think that's so due to the people that you coach, to the team you're a part of and that you impact, to anyone that comes across an interaction with you. I feel like that's going to be such a gift for them, to just ultimately be treated, like seen, like a human, like just that gift of seeing people and being with. I think that's a really amazing. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time before we log off. I did a random little question, and this is like, it's an open-ended question. Do you have maybe a favorite book, or a favorite song that you feel like you kind of turned to help and to help motivate you? And I guess it could also be a favorite quote, if you have a favorite quote.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I'm gonna struggle here. Let's see. Well, one book that comes to mind is I'm an avid reader. I do Audible, so I don't know if that counts as reading, but I probably listen to a book a week, and it's just interesting how books at different times in your life impact you. But along with you asking me about coaching, I read the book Lead for God's Sake, and that just really hit me because I was just getting into coaching. So that was one that stands out to me. The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak. That was one that I know just off the top of my head that impacted me. Let me see. Song. Oh gosh. Well, I love Bucket List. And there was another song that I love Lauren Daigle music as well. But there's so many different things that I love and I've used as motivation throughout this journey. But those are a couple that just popped into my head. So
I love it. Here too, Audible totally counts.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, good.
like audiobooks are
Yeah.
Especially when you have we have one solid working eye and one that some people's case is blind, like me, or struggling, or totally gone, been enucleated, like audio life. Yeah. So I will probably have to test out for everyone so that they can see those. But thank you for sharing those, and thank you so much, Jackie, for your insight, and just for your wisdom. It was just really impactful. As we kind of conclude, I do want to just a little call out before we for anyone listening to this video, if Jackie, if you share this video across your social media platform, if you guys have an inclination to, from the public audience, if you to donate and to contribute to research and to patient for what a Cure Insight does for patients, we do have a big desire and a big for that impact as a nonprofit. So if you're able to and you're willing to donate a small amount, I feel like if we had 1,000 people dollars, we'd have $5,000. So if you see this video and you have it to head to our page or head to our website and make a donation, all can go a long way as we reflect and we can impact patients for good and help with funding research. So thank you again. Jack, as we close, do you have anything else that you feel like you are really driven that you'd like to share?
Yes, actually, I would love to share my website at JackieStiles.com. So if anyone's listening to this and has some questions about my journey or needs any help or any way I can support them, to reach out to me through that. I will get the email sent to me directly. And then also, it's kind of embarrassing to say, but there was a movie that was just done about my life, and it's called the Jackie Stiles story. And because I asked my doctor to take those pictures when he was removing the plaque, my eye makes the big screen. I got to see it premiere on March 1st, and actually it will drop for download on, I believe, Amazon Prime and Apple TV and some of those other platforms on August 30th. So just kind of be on the lookout for that, because it does talk about my cancer journey within that movie.
Awesome. Yeah, I was gonna touch on that as I like almost forgot, and then you brought it up. Yes, we needed that. But yeah, as that comes and that's dropped in for download on those different, make me aware, and we'll make sure to circulate our platforms, and make sure that goes in your show notes this episode. So thank you again, Jackie, for being here. If you guys have any questions for Jackie specific live, go ahead and drop them in the comment them onto her, or like she said, head to her website, JackieStiles.com, reach out to her directly. Thank you for being here. It was a pleasure. I'm going to go ahead and hit end recording, and we will see you guys next.